This is a variation of the pure technique. The pure technique you can find in my book, Parallel Universes of Self. So in this variation, you combine the technique with symbolic movement and anchors. So you lay out on the floor a position that represents the now situation, and a position that represents a future, for example, in 1 year, or even in 500 years, if you want to get really crazy. And what's going to happen is, well, at best, you're going to change your timeline, your reality, and at worst, you're just going to improve your state. So both is possible. So once you've laid out a now position and a future position, you stand in the now position and you allow yourself to consider various versions of yourself in the future. Versions of yourself in 10 years or in 1 year. And if this is too difficult for you to visualize, then you can write this down. You can write down, this is version 1, this would be version 2, version 3, version 4. And to make the best of this, you also add a negative version. A version of yourself if things go wrong, just to integrate and acknowledge that side, to keep it real. And then a version that is neutral, and then 1, 2, or 3 versions that are positive. And once you've done that, get a feeling for all of the versions, get a sense of them by focusing on each one for a minute or two. If you're doing this exercise while watching the video, then you'd have to push pause now to do the exercise. I'm just going to continue. Of the versions you wrote down, you choose one version of yourself in the future, an ideal version, an improved version of you, and you get a real impression of what improvement looks like, what improvement is, what it feels like, what it behaves like, what it acts like. So you can use this in any specific area of improvement, and you just get a real good sense of what improvement exactly is. Don't make it vague. If improvement is just, well, I feel better, that's too vague. That's not specific enough. Your subconscious operates in images and pictures and wants a real clear idea of where you're headed. And then you step forward. Once you have a good idea, you step forward from your now position and walk into the version of yourself in 1 year. So you've placed an anchor there. You walk up to it and take in the position of that version of you. And you look from that position, feel from that position, and you just stand there until you get a real good sense of what it feels like to be that person already, to have all this person's resources, feelings, ideas, and memories. See if you can act as if you are remembering the timeline that brought you to this place. This is a key to the exercise. You pretend that you can remember what brought you here. And for this purpose, you turn your body to look into the past. Look into where you were standing before. And then you actually take a step into the past from that version, just to check it out. You take a step forward and see what you were doing or thinking or feeling right before your ideal self manifested. You see, from this state, it's easier to see what it takes to be that. Every reality you wish to attract and experience in your life requires you to be a certain version of yourself. It does not require you to be different than what you are, but simply emphasize different aspects of you. You have hundreds of different aspects and you emphasize certain ones. Then you take another pace into the past, see what happened there, and then you arrive back in the now, but as the new you. You see, you don't change your state, you simply travel the timeline as the new you to just check it out, and you take the new you back into the now symbolically. So what is very good about this exercise is that it involves anchors, physical anchors and movement, which make it easier to feel and visualize. Whereas if you're only sitting in your chair with your eyes closed, it won't be quite as intense. So take this alternate version of the pure technique and enjoy it. And if you experienced and manifested something nice, tell others about it. My name is Fred Dodson. Thank you very much.